Sonic sound. Welcome to the Phalai episode 10. God damn it, we in double digits now. Thank you all so much for joining us on today's stream and for joining me with all these amazing, fucking fabulous content creators. Look at them all. They're all here to entertain you and possibly me. We'll see how this goes. But thank you all again for supporting the channel. We love you guys so much. We really appreciate you coming to our little stories here. Off the bat, tonight we will not be doing our usual subscriber giveaway. We are looking at changing it up a little bit in the future, which I mentioned on Beyond the Realms. We're going to change up things, maybe starting in a couple weeks' time. Subscribers, people who are subscribed to the channel, will be entered into a draw each week during the break screen. And that person who wins that draw that week will be entered to play in a one-shot with yours truly, with me DMing. So there will be 4 players in total per month. So each week you watch into Phalai or Beyond the Realms, you have a chance to be entered in to play. And yeah, so we think that's another fun way just to thank everyone who subscribes to the channel and supports us in that way. We really do appreciate it very much. I think I'll save the big announcement that I have regarding this story and the Phalai for after tonight's stream, just to keep you guys in suspense. I got some pretty interesting announcements to make for that as well. But with all that out of the way,
he's killing us all. He's killing us all.
We're all done.
I'm gonna pull a Corso and just meteor swarm the fuck out of everybody. That's what I'm gonna do.
You do.
I can't. My heart. Had it twice, please.
But before I dive into tonight's episode of Phalai, was there anything that anyone had any cool, interesting things they may want to promote coming up soon? I know people got a lot of stuff going on.
I mean, I recently started up my Twitch channel if y'all want to see gaming and art stuff.
Monster Hunter World is the shit.
They really do.
There's been a lot of twitching going on.
Lots of furious twitching on my end, yes. So if you want to, Twitch TV/Red Queen Hales if you want to see some Monster Hunter streaming.
There you go.
And if you want to also see Haley stream Monster Hunter, but you want to see me in the background not gripping the fight and just cooking steak, twitch.tv/Saintverse to watch me get carried by Haley. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so me and Saintverse, not only do we play D&D together, but I kill monsters and he sits there and cooks steaks. It's a glorious symbiotic relationship, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Fantasy cookout. What could be better? Corso, do you have anything coming up soon that people should know about?
Oh yeah, if you want to see me play Monster Hunter, I just downloaded it to play with Hales and Saint. No lie, I did. I was having coffee with Hales the other day. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy that to join y'all. So I have that, and I will be doing my D&D stuff with all these wonderful people on Lark Network, but then also Monster Hunter's on the way. So maybe everyone should just get it.
Yay, so I get a babysit another hunter.
I re-downloaded Monster Hunter World as well, no lie, to do the exact same thing. So hey, we're all gonna just be playing Monster Hunter World. We'll just be doing our own streams. You can just switch through different cameras just to see everyone's reaction. Watch me be horrible at it because I am bad.
You don't have good enough internet to download the game? Oh, no.
We don't talk about that.
One day. But everyone, with all of that loveliness out of the way, let us dive back right into our fun story, our little gem. So journey morsels of the Phalai.
Yes.
So, last we left off, the party having a toe-to-toe, all-out war with the being known as Stallmouse in the caves on near the Ciproquil Ridge Mountains near the city of Hupperduke. Through a much series of investigations, they finally found out where this person's lair was, and through fighting crazy mechanic dogs, through fighting what kind of looked like a crazy steampunk-looking ironmonger suit, multiple kobolds, you all were victorious, smashed through all those evildoers, and now you are coming to the tail end of your journey here with Stallmouse. and trying to figure out what the hell exactly is going on, because when the stall mouse was revealed, it was not this man that you had heard about, this disgruntled weapons designer of the Dwendalian Empire. It was, in fact, this girl, little girl, doesn't look any older than maybe like 9 or 10 years old, but with accompanying weird mechanic body parts, had a metal faceplate on the face, metallic arm, metallic leg, and this kind of petticoat that was all tattered and ripped up, who had emerged out of the construct. But you were able to subdue this girl, and you kind of have her captive at the moment to try to find out more answers. As you kind of looked around at this workshop, this workstation of sorts that you found her in, you went around and looked at what was kind of anything that could be helpful to your situation. And one item in particular that was found was this red journal that I believe Moose had discovered, that was written in some sort of strange code that after making a series of checks, kind of realizing that maybe there was some sort of cipher that you needed to decode it, as it wasn't a language that you recognized. And flipping through it, you notice that there was a crude drawing of sorts, a chain of islands that were kind of colored in with a red marker. Very, very strange indeed. And also, as you went back to check up on your friend Washburn Breedlove, who was at the moment kind of holding a kobold at bay, the one kobold that was left after your slaughter that you were going to keep around for questioning, once you left the room with him inside, with him just alone with that kobold, once you got back, the kobold was dead, and in fact, Washburn had disappeared. With another series of rolls, you were able to determine a blood trail leading out of that room into another sort of hallway with a series of weird tunnels kind of etched into the sides. And through another series of checks from Jules Hendricks, we're able to discern that these tunnels did indeed lead deep down into the mountainside, possibly leading into the Underdark. No, so, with all that out of the way, we are returning back into Stallmouse Lair with more questions than answers.
True that.
Party, what would you like to do?
I'd like to cry as a free action.
Okay, so what do we do? Do we keep following?
Washburn isn't our concern. Stallmouse and their plans are. So I'd say, let's keep this in mind, but let's move forth with our exploration of this lab.
Wherever the dog is, we need to consider if he's actually worth the trouble of putting ourselves into further harm.
Precisely.
Agreed.
Washburn might be a problem, but I think what worries me more is why they were connected, and my worry is that they connected to their plan. So I think that even when we go back, once we are completely done with our mission, I think this is information that might be helpful to our employers.
My concern is, well, Stallmouse is a little girl. Nobody told us Stallmouse was a little girl.
Well,
Dar didn't tell me. Little girl.
Little might not be the right word. If there's been as many adjustments to their body, then their age might not follow with their body anymore.
I do admit I've been around for a very long time, and I've never seen somebody in quite so small a body with so many atomical changes.
Are you used to more Galahad speed?
It didn't sound like all of these were voluntary.
Though she was...
Fair.
The child was tortured.
They.
Yes. All right, well, let's, as Jules said then, we keep searching until we get everything that we can out of here on our way out.
Also, making sure that we definitely disable whatever bombs are placed within the mountain range to destroy Hupperduke, or at least ensure that they are offline.
I can do that.
Let's get moving then.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Come on, roll
Okay.
20.
So currently we got Phelan Rock, we've got Galahad, and we've got Margot inside of this bedroom area with the little girl kind of guarding her at the moment. Then we got Nebula and we got Jules. They're still inside this forge area, this workshop of sorts. Where would you like to go next? Are you just kind of like explore the lair a bit more, see if anything comes up? Are you leaving someone with the little girl, taking them with you?
She's knocked out being held by
Galahad.
because I punched her and knocked her out. I remember
You
that.
sure did.
Just
You attempted to put her in your bag of holding.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
said something about taking her to the bedroom.
Yeah, y'all felt real sketch about all that, so we just punched her and moved on.
Let's
Never
risk
I want
it.
to make this situation less bad. I know. I'll punch a girl in the face.
What could make the situation possibly better? Violence.
If
Also
any of
likes
you
to
out
put
of
it in.
character, if any of you in character remotely raised an eyebrow at me punching that little girl, I'm going to just Nebula would immediately just look over at the pile of junk that is the mech that was trying to murder us, not say anything, and just look at it, and then look back at you.
Hey, I threatened to blow her up with gunpowder in her mouth.
I think we all have a little bit of crime on our hands when it comes to hurting her. So
Okay, yeah, and don't forget the gunpowder in her mouth.
I think she hurt me more than I hurt her.
Important detail.
Yeah.
So the gunpowder pouch is currently still in her mouth. I remember you put like that in her mouth, and you put like material over her, like pretty much like duct taping
Yep.
it shut to be like, if you want
Are we
to
the
try
baddies?
anything.
Yeah. So Nebula's going to check out the rest of the workshop and is going to head up towards the back.
Back area over there. Okie dokie.
Jules will follow closely behind him.
as well.
All right. So let's do some reveal areas here.
Margot's working for self-preservation and staying close to Galahad.
Gala, baby.
Look, squishy sorcerers, less than half health. No bueno.
No way.
Those temporary hit points that we all got last time. Yeah.
Have they worn off at this point, by the way? Because I still have mine.
No, they last until they get removed.
So in going into this area over here, Nebula and Jules, let me just switch up here. So within this area, you see that a mighty anvil of dark metal rests in the center of this cavern between two rocky pillars. To the south stands a semicircle pool of stagnant water. Numerous tables line the cavern walls, piled with particularly or partially constructed mechanical devices, motionless automatons. And a massive forge stands along the north wall, filling the cavern with a bright orange glow. A dangerous looking... Oh, no, sorry, that's it. And then... never mind.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. You
was-
want to run that? You want to run that back?
That's a dangerous looking
No, no,
what, Kevin?
No, that's my notes merged in with the reveal of the lady in the construct. Never mind. That was my mistake. But as you get
I'm in
closer...
danger.
But as you look into this area, Nebula, over this way, you will see piles of metal ingots, textiles, and other materials are filling that cavern off to the left. Most of it seems to be disorganized, but all of it clearly coming from outside the lair.
Cool.
Shall we
Definitely want to take a look at that. But Nebula pulls his bow out and strings an arrow to hold an action as he moves.
Yeah, Jules will also ready an Eldritch Blast in case anything comes at them.
Okay. You're going to move further into that area?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna get to the top of the stairs there, and those are stairs, right?
Yeah, they're like a little bit of an incline.
How damaged is Nebula looking, by the way? Is he looking rough?
He's at about half, but he also has 10 temp. So he looks like he's at full health, but half of that is his temp that he
Okay.
was given. So he's fine.
All right.
So yeah, bow drawn, and I'm just Nebula sees that area, and He sees Jules is following, so he doesn't need to call anything out, and he slowly starts descending the incline. And when he gets to the bottom, he's going to peek around the corner.
Okay. So peeking around the corner here, if you want to put your guy to the top of the stairs there. That's what you see in here.
It's 1,000 kobolds.
More?
So in here,
Don't jinx us.
more of the same, just more and more piles of materials and items that are filling this cavern, all disorganized. If you would like to make an investigation check for me, for the both of you.
Sure. Got a +3, and that is a natural 1. Way to start the day, folks.
Wow. I did a little better. I did 11.
11, and so of course, so you got.
Now 1, baby. That's how we
Hey,
start.
Nebula.
Get them out of the way. It's fine. Save your good rolls for later.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. I'm looking for kobolds.
So through these piles of all these different items and such, you can probably, just by looking at everything, just eyeballing it, that the goods and materials here are probably worth like around 250 gold pieces.
Ooh.
That's
Like,
almost
it's a-
enough for a Revivify.
Money.
Like it's a lot of stuff that's in here and like worth money, like metal ingots, textiles, other materials. So getting all this, you might be able to discern that these could be worth pretty petty. And also that description of it looks like it came from the outside of the lair. Probably getting a gist of like, you know, maybe it's stolen stuff. Like, is it theirs? Is it not? Yeah, not too sure at this point, but it's a little sus. You're a little sus.
All right.
But yeah,
Who's
that's
the
all you
imposter?
find in there for the moment.
Jules, do you do anything with that info, or not? I'm gonna advance.
Yeah, I'm just gonna advance.
Cool. Yeah, Nebula would call back to the party to Phelan there and just let them know, like, there's more of a path this way. Sorry. Seems there's more of a path this way. Sorry, he's got to be a little more, you know.
Just gotta get that nice drone.
A little more sus.
Yeah.
So I'll head on back and let the other two know. I think you can leave the bedroom now. We found another path. It seems like.
You know how much deeper it goes.
Well, but a little deeper than here is how far we know.
Well, according to Roll20, about 110 feet.
Perfect.
Margot at this point is gonna look over at Galahad and then over at Nebula, just be like, if we keep going further, after what we've just witnessed, do you think that we would be able to handle anything more than the current state that we are in?
So right now you're back in a room with Galahad. So technically, unless you came over to us, because we're in the whole other side, I can't have that conversation with you yet.
Or not Nebula, Phelan. Sorry, fuck.
Yeah.
Do we have another option though? If we leave right now and we don't do a thorough search, we don't just we might live through the, I guess, death inside of the mountain, but we'll end up dying at the bottom of the mountain under those explosives. So we might as well finish our job now and be as careful as we can.
If something like that flashbang happens again, there's a good chance some of us may not wake up. We do need, and I say this with as much sincerity as a person like me, myself, can muster, we have to be the most careful we can possibly be.
I'll look down at all the cuts and the bruises that I've sustained, i.e. I'm at 5 hit points. I think I can tell that we are a little hurt. But again,
Margot like looks at like the piercing wounds from like the kobolds shooting arrows and like the like gut punch that she took from the mechanism. And she's like, I don't know. And this is like said with like straight humility. She's like, I don't know if I could walk away from something like that again.
I know you can, because we will keep each other safe. We will make it out, not alone. We will make it out together out of here.
You would
Walk
still
out
try
again
to protect me after
yeah.
everything.
We are a team, and we will walk out a team, yes.
At that point, Margot's just kind of like inquisitively look at the person who basically nearly died in front of her. And then like over at Galahad, who basically kept her alive. And just for a minute ponder and then just get silent. And she's like, then I suppose we press on. We have little option.
Okay. Here we go. And I'll head on back to the rest of the group.
Okay. So, Moose, back to which group? Are you going with Nebula and
yes.
Jules?
Going
Okay.
to Nebula and Jules.
And Margot and Galahad staying in the room. Okay. So yeah, guys, do you want to move further down that room there?
Yeah.
I'll move to the top of the next set of stairs.
Okay.
Question, am I seeing gunpowder all over the place? I know I rolled a nat 1 on investigation, so I didn't dig through anything, but if I take a moment, am I seeing gunpowder?
Roll perception,
Okay.
just to take a quick look around.
I'm also going to cast Mage Armor on myself using my Eldritch Invocation. So just give myself a little more boost.
With my modifiers, pretty sick. That's a 3.
Whoa.
Punching that girl really took a lot out of you. So even with a 3, like, no, this isn't a storeroom for gunpowder. You don't see any pouches leaking anything or any dirt on the ground that would resemble gunpowder or anything like that. You seem pretty confident this was just looks like more of a storeroom for goods.
Okay.
Let's press on then.
Press
so yeah,
on.
top of the next stairs.
Okay. So in this area, reveals. Let me get my little handy dandy revealer tool. Let's see. Yeah, you can see probably just about there. So in this room, it's a cramped, uncomfortably hot chamber. Seems to be outfitted for a blacksmith, featuring a glowing forge, an anvil, and a water trough. Various tools are set around the anvil, while piles of metal ignats stand beside the entrance.
I'm gonna walk in and see if there's any weapons that might be completed already that are laying around.
Sure, make investigation.
May Jules also do that?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, thank God.
Nebula's gonna try.
That is a unnatural 20.
I have a 17.
I got a 15. Not bad.
Ooh, okay.
Anytime you make an exclamation about your dice, I'm like, oh dear God, here we go
It
again.
was almost a nat 1. It like flipped over.
In this forge, looking around for all three of you, Phelan, you do see a set of smith's tools rested by the anvil.
Okay.
Kind of resting there next to it. But unfortunately, the weapons in this room seem to be, there's not a lot left over.
Okay.
A lot of them are kind of half completed, weren't finished. And in the way, and with that high roll, kind of in the way that you see these few discarded items are kind of left on the side. Looks like they're kind of discarded in a way that looks like something was happening in a rush. And if you remember all of the many kobolds that had come to your activity, that maybe some of them had come in here, grabbed what was left behind, and rushed towards you.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that is, and even with all three of you, that unfortunately is what is left over.
I'm going to go ahead and grab those smith tools and just snag them. They might be the Mouska tools we need for later. You know?
I also have proficiency in smith tools.
Very nice.
All right. I'm going to keep creeping along through this space.
Yeah.
Creeping along. Creeping along. Okay.
Super creep. He's super creepy.
He's super creepy. Yow.
And do the creep. Oh.
Oh God, that song is just the worst. So Nebula, you can kind of see that there's a little passage here going off to your right, and then kind of leads down ahead, another pass off to your left, and then seems to go down further to the lower end of the caves.
If I stand right here, do I see down this?
Yep. Right there.
Yeah, I'm going to step in there.
Of course, we're getting closer and closer to that metal floor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So tucked off to the side of the passageway is a modest bedroom containing for a mattress, a bare table, and a small, partially sculpted stone statuette. A chair is tucked against the table, and a pile of broken rocks sits against the wall beneath it.
What's the statuette look like?
The statuette, it's a small sculpture on the desk, and it's a mostly finished representation of a dwarf, really expertly carved. Any inspection of the pile of so that's what the statue says, or it looks like.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, can I look? Is there anything written on it, or is there any?
Nothing's written on it. It's just this epic, really nicely detailed sculpture of a dwarf that's just in this kind of heroic pose with a giant, huge hammer, just kind of looking up. But nothing's really written on it. Just looks.
Quick reminder, just really quickly. Did we hear about the race that Stallmouse was before, when we thought that he was before we found out the information of the little girl? Your silence is suspicious, Kevin.
Suspicious.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I can't remember if anybody said anything.
Sorry, I thought you were asking your party members if they knew. As far as you know, nobody said exactly the race per se, but having now dealt with the Empire, they don't tend to have a lot of dwarves in their service.
Okay.
To a T. So, I mean, no one's said he was a dwarf when mentioned. So it's probably safe to assume that he may not be a dwarf.
All right.
So this is hard, and you tell me how you want to allow this. I want to double check the rules of this real quick.
Every time Corso says something like that, I can feel the fear coming from Kevin.
My question is, I'm looking at a statue and I'm a shape changer, and Nebula right now would like to document this image in his mind, and he's going to try and shift into it. Now, the problems here are, unless it's colored, I don't have any of the coloring of skin tone, know anything about any of the correct things, and the shape changer specifically says you can't duplicate the appearance of a creature you've never seen, but can I mimic the image of a creature?
Right. I'll say roll a performance check.
Okay.
I swear to fucking God, Nebula, if you're a god and
honestly, if it doesn't work, it makes total sense to me. So I'm gonna just let this roll be whatever. That is
19
right
charisma,
now,
dude.
22.
Yeah.
How do you just? This is when you rolling that one, but this is when your rolls come through. Okay.
All right.
The dice
So-
gods don't show mercy.
They don't.
So you look at this statue of this very finely detailed sort of dwarven statue, and you kind of go over to Jules, and you're like, "Do you mind just like holding that for a second?" And they're just like, "Sure." Just kind of hold it, and you're like looking at it, trying to get a good eyeball on it, and then you just see Nebula's form just start to shake and quiver as his body starts to try to mimic the statue as best he can. And his skin tone again just gets darker and darker, kind of matching the tone of the statue. And you have a really good likeness to it, like fairly well. It's a little bit janky, kind of thinking like there's PS5 graphics and there's like N64, so it's kind of blocky. It's not very like your image isn't very detailed, but it's just like kind of polygon kind of looking, like the beard is kind of like cubed. And that kind of thing, kind of like PS1 Lara Croft style. But
It's forever in our hearts, Corso.
Yeah.
but
Okay,
but now that you have this much bigger image of the statue to kind of like gauge off of, the image looks very, very familiar to the Duragar that you had fought in against Stallmouse, that giant Duragar that kind of went uninvisible and became enlarged with that hammer. It looks very similar to what he looked like.
Cool.
That makes sense.
And
That
Nebula
tracks.
looks back and says, "Now, when we have to explain this ridiculous day, we will have something to a little more visual representation of what happened. It may not be
And-
perfect, but this ought to be good to show someone."
Exactly. And if you stand very, very still, people will think you're a statue.
I do like your thinking, friend. I'll keep that in mind. And he shifts back into his normal form.
With ease. So as that happens, the blocky form just kind of goes back into the form of Nebula that you've seen before.
Nebula, have you ever thought about the thief life? You know, there are many, many pockets you can steal if you're stealing from yourself. Nobody's gonna ask. It'd be so easy.
Unfortunately, there's much bigger things at play than a few bits of pocket change, my friend.
You're stealing from the whole country? Hmm?
Some might say. Some might say.
What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, and he looks around the room and looks out. Have Margot and Galahad followed us in here?
I think they're staying in the room there.
Okay.
At this point, Margot is almost a little bit worried. Not for like the group entirely, but being left alone for too long. Like, this is very much one of those like mystery, don't split the party sort of moments to her.
Uh-huh.
And she's gonna look over at Galahad and she's just be like, I know we have Stallmouse, but there's a part of me that thinks we should follow them.
I agree. I don't like the idea of us being split up.
After what he said, working together and then running off. That's not very together now, is it? And then at that moment, she's just gonna like walk down the hall and just kind of, you know, I suppose lead the way to try and find them again.
Sure. Did they tell you where they were going? You didn't see them where they went necessarily, or did you kind of say like we're going down this way?
'Cause didn't
I told them that we
Relent say-
found
Yeah.
found another path, not the one that we just seen earlier.
So
That's all
I
I
think
said.
Margot would automatically assume just like, okay, well, they didn't say they were going where the blood trails were, like,
Yeah. Okay.
so I imagine they would just keep going.
Yeah, for sure. You could. It's easy to determine. There's only like a couple ways to go from here, so you can come up and join them down there if you like.
Dope. Just
And I'll haul Stallmouse over my shoulder as I go.
Mm-hmm.
Mars is-
Unconscious.
And with Jules' question now, I'll bounce back to, because Jules asked, what do I mean with bigger things at play? And Nebula will say, Well, I've mentioned it before, but I'm not typically sent somewhere unless something major is at work. And while destroying a mountainside could be it, I've learned to never trust what I see first.
Sent by who exactly?
I guess nature, fate, my employer.
And who would your employer be?
What do you know of gifted magic?
A little more than you would assume.
No. See, I assume you know enough. And he leans in real close. Which is why I'm hesitant on trading names.
I had to read books for my magic. It fucking sucked.
I was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Well,
I was born this way.
I am royal.
But if we make it out of here in one piece, perhaps over drinks at the end of our shift, I'll discuss these things, because I have many a question for you as well.
All right, then. It's a plan. Now let's keep moving.
And yeah, Nebula will follow out, because he was the first one in the room, so he'd be like the last one out, and he follows out with bow still drawn. So it's kind of.
And if anyone wanted to take a second look in that room as Hales and Galahad has come to the room, you're more than welcome to, or you just can press on as well.
I'd like to see if there's any gold.
I love gold. Make a perception check, please.
Make a perception check, gold member.
Solid gold.
Perception. That's 18 plus 2 for a unnatural 20.
Hey, yeah.
Run me my check right now.
Write the check.
Run it back, yeah.
So, giving a second look over the room here, there's not much else to really go off of. It just seems like a simple little tucked away bedroom area. But taking a second look around, you do notice a opal just peeking out from underneath the bed. Do you go down there to look at it?
I absolutely do.
Okay. Underneath, as you go down to look at the opal down on that ground, you look in between the mattress and the frame that it's on, and you notice some things wedged under the bed mattress.
Oh, I wonder if this is his naughty stuff. I'll try and check out the papers.
Oh, no.
Or whatever it may be.
It's a sack of condoms. No, it's not.
Damn it. So close.
This stream's been sponsored by Trojan. Yes, or Walgreens.
Add
That's-
+1 to your AC where it counts.
That is for the Theros campaign.
Let your
okay?
partner know you brought protection.
When we do the Theros campaign, Trojan will be a sponsor.
Nice.
But yeah, you see that there's a sack kind of wedged in between the mattress there. As you kind of grab it and kind of look into the sack, it contains a bunch of gems. So you're looking at 4 opals, probably around 25 gold each. Flawed ruby, around 75 gold worth, and a flawed diamond that is worth 100 gold.
Oh my god. Okay, I need to write that down.
That money's bringing him back.
Yes.
Fuck no, baby.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. So with that, did everyone want to keep continuing on?
Yes.
Yeah.
I suppose at this note, Margot and Galahad should probably be like, hi, before we accidentally get shanked for sneaking up on them.
Hey guys.
Hi, we're here to help. Oh, I see you stabbed me. Okay.
So there is a sort of hallway going down to the left there, and then there's more room down there. So as you kind of go forward, as you peek through this area here.
Yeah, Jules will make their way up into this room. Investigation?
You.
Is that the same song?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
A 12 plus 5, so a 17.
Okay. So in this room here, you see a row of rough, blood-stained beds outfit this makeshift infirmary.
This stream's now
Fun.
sponsored by Tampax.
Okay. Okay. Again, that's a different blood hunter. We won't get into that. The soiled.
Fair.
Bam. So soiled claws have been tossed in one corner, and a door stands closed to the northwest.
I'll make my way up and to these doors and test if they're locked or not.
In the doorway there.
Let me in!
Let me in.
Let me in!
The doors are not locked.
Ooh.
Okay, so I will go in.
So burst open those doors there. And you see this area here. So what you discover, as soon as you open those doors, this smell of acrid chemicals and rusting metal are pungent within this dark cavern. Two small tables against the far wall holds all manner of surgical tools and knives, as well as a tattered notebook. Beneath an unlit lantern hanging from the ceiling, a large rectangular table is affixed with restraints and stained with old blood. You also notice on one of those tables is a dead kobold that's wrapped up in blood-stained bandages, and looks like some sort of surgery was kind of going on here. And you see next to that table a couple of discarded, like some wet sacks of blasting powder. Putting two and two together is probably where they were putting in the explosives into these kobolds.
Oh, I thought they were making mecha kobold. Fuck.
Mechabots.
Gross. Can I roll an investigation for this room that I don't like?
Yeah, Nebula's gonna follow in as well. And
I'll wait for Jules.
Yeah, do you both want to roll?
yeah, that'd be great.
That is another 12 plus 5, so another 17.
That is
Margot's gonna move closer. To the group and
21.
stand at the edge of the hallway.
21. So, Jules, seeing that notebook, you kind of open it up and go through the pages. It describes in gory detail the process by which Stallmouse performs this experimental surgery, working with the implanting of the explosive seeds into the kobolds, different variations of like putting it like underneath armor, then some where he was experimenting with placing it within the chest cavity itself of the kobolds. All manner of writings of just trying to make that work and in various detail. And Nebula.
Thanks, I hate it.
As you look around the room, you find a small box under one of the tables. And as you open it up, it holds 3 explosive seeds. They're very similar to those explosive devices that are usually hidden underneath the kobolds.
Now they're hidden underneath their I guess with the book, Nebula looks over to Jules and will ask, so how exactly are these placed inside them?
Jules will glance at like the most recent, like, this is how we do it, and glance over it and summarize to Nebula what they read.
Just simple surgical experimentations. There's no like, crazy magic or any kind of like special devices that are references. It's like pretty plain, just experimental surgery, placing it inside at a place where the organs wouldn't conflict or damage the internal structure of the body, so they can plant it safely and that kobold could still run around and do its thing. And then at a moment's notice, if it was caught or if they need to be suicide bombers, they could just go and just blast it all. But it also notes that they had a few failed attempts at doing so, hence why they started with putting it under the leather armor first. But in that kind of espionage sort of way, that seems like the book kind of alludes to like a different plan that maybe involved them having them inside of them.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to pocket these 3 seeds.
Okay.
These might come in handy later.
Yes. Let's get out of here, though. This isn't a pleasant place to be.
Or musketeers,
So, does Nebula see anything else in here?
That's pretty much it.
Cool.
Just looks like a standard kind of janky operating table or operating room.
Yeah, anytime there's a room that seems filled with death, Nebula kind of gives it a second and looks around to see if anything kind of chats with him, and then moves.
Divine sense.
All right, so going
For the
further.
first time, because Nebula just does it before I can.
No, you're welcome to.
Let's do it. I'm gonna activate my special eyes.
Divine sense. Do it, baby.
Yep. Do I see anything of celestial, fiend, or undead in this room that is filled with death and science?
In the surgical room?
Yes.
Yeah, so you turn on that divine sense, that radiant glow kind of takes over your body. Your eyes just kind of turn on like headlights in a car, just looking around. But no undead vibes, no fiend vibes. This room is definitely seemed to be surgery like with the intelligence that Stallmouse had to perform such very complicated surgeries, but nothing in the undead variety was going on.
Where's your fucked up sense? Not your divine sense. We need the other one. Damn.
Does Galahad see Jules' weird aura as well now? Since I believe this would be his first time casting.
That's if he's kind of looking your way as you're kind of behind him in this room and he's looking around. Galahad, do you kind of look over Jules' way?
I'm more looking at the room.
Yeah.
So I guess if Jules is like in the, hang on, I'll position myself because I'll just do it from the middle and do like a 360 scan. If Jules is in sight, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Jules would wait at the door if you weren't standing there and just waiting for the two of you to start on your way out of the room. So probably.
Yeah, so as you just kind of like turn, like you're looking around, you're like, nothing, I don't see anything here. You kind of just notice Jules' aura as this blend of colors is just lightly outlining the body of Jules is just like colors that kind of indicate the things you're looking for: fiend, undead, celestial. They're all kind of mixing and swirling in this really very strange thin aura around Jules.
Nothing bad is going to happen here.
Oh, look, a red flag. No.
Oh no.
Galahad's going to do one additional sweep of the room.
No unnatural presences detected.
And he's going to just step out.
Can Nebula roll insight to see if he saw Galahad look at Jules?
Sure, if
Or
you'd like.
perception or whatever. I just want to know if he knows.
Wow.
Do you want to roll
How out of
against this,
character.
Galahad, or is your expression very much like, oh shit, or was it more subdued? I mean, being a warforged is hard to be very expressive to begin with, so
Yeah, like,
his face is making the same face it did before.
you know what? You can roll against my passive deception, which is 13.
Okay.
There you go.
I will roll right now.
With your 19 charisma.
And what am I rolling? Do you want this to be
You're rolling insight.
insight? That is a 13 flat. So I think we just we both look at each other and there's a moment of like,
One of those things where you notice Galahad kind of looking around the room, right? And he has this very like stoic metal faceplate, and just kind of looks over to Jules, and there's just this kind of like this slight double take of the motion in his head, where he's like, I looked over and looked again. And right as you're kind of looking around the room as well, Nebula, you just notice him kind of go, mm-mm, and just kind of like look at her for like 1.5 of a second, but it's enough for you to be like, I know what that double take is about, and you just kind of acknowledge it.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
and as soon as he says that it was all clear, and I like just acknowledge that like I saw that, I'll just without missing a beat, Nebula's like, then shall we press on?
Indeed. Let's move out.
Okay.
As they're inside, I would have loved to have just turned around to Margot and said, I thought you all would have been coming around. My bad. Didn't mean to leave you behind.
Well, you talked about coming together as a group, and Galahad made this point of catching up with everybody.
Yes. I appreciate it.
I just thought I'd go along. It seemed like a smart enough idea.
I'm gonna need Zone of Truth now.
Everyone just insight check.
Margot's like, don't come for me.
I'm not going to insight check or anything just because even if it were
you can
true.
visibly see that Margot's like, she's definitely hiding something. Like, you could just demeanor alone. She's not playing this very cool.
It seemed hard enough for Margot the first time to admit that she might not be able to make it out. I will leave her the decency of not needing to tell us that she felt worried.
Mm-hmm.
And well, thank you very much for coming. I think it's gonna be a fun ride.
So Margot just looks over at Fail and she's like, thank you for your concern.
Yeah. So the weather in here, right? As we're waiting.
She's just gonna go over and she just goes, this smell is awful. I do not know if you can smell quite as good as I can. And I've smelled many things, but whatever they've done here may take the cake.
No cake detected.
Stench of death is one that clings around, and it is indeed an awful one. Hard to get used to, even if it's coming from you, you know?
I can't tell if the metallic smell is from the copper and iron or if it's blood. That's just how saturated this earth is.
Damn, I'm glad they didn't summon anything with all those blood sacrifices. That would have been
Jinx
terrifying.
us! Don't jinx us!
Nebula's gonna
At
start.
that point, Margot's gonna kind of give like a low chuckle. She just goes, I wonder what's left here.
Yeah. And I'll go ahead and wait for the others.
And Nebula will come around the corner and signal to keep heading down.
Okay. So Margot coming down here with the head of the group.
Yeah, Margot's gonna kind of start. She's just gonna basically keep walking. But she's gonna, every so often, she's gonna actually just like turn around and like check to make sure the group is still behind her.
Mm-hmm. So in this part of the cave, so you're now entering into this very spacious cavern that's heady with the pungent scent of mildew. The stony floor is covered with more than a dozen bundles of moldy leather, stained fabric scraps, and torn pillows that serve as seemingly kobold beds. 3 of the beds are a bit just like disheveled and broken. Some of the bed frames are just like creaked and put down on the side. But yeah, it looks like more of a sleeping area for the little kobold workers that were in here.
Can we call CPS on Stelmoust and his treatment of his kobold? Because they need
We
help.
literally fried them. Are we any better?
Shh, don't mention that. Just
It's
forget about
just
that.
semantics, just irrelevant details.
We may have killed them, but I draw the line at sleeping situations.
It'll be the best rest they ever gotten.
All
So
right.
rest in pieces.
Yeah.
Nebula will step deeper into it and like inspect the room.
So
Uh-oh.
deeper down this end.
Oh, we may have lost Moose. Sudan internet may have not treated him so kindly.
No.
The moose has the moose.
Sometimes the internet over there is not kind. They're prone to blackouts too sometimes, so hopefully we'll get them back soon.
No, all of our screens on the Twitch are all
wonky?
they're all wonky.
They're all wonky donkey.
We're all like halfway in the frames.
Well, I can high five you, Yerpy. High five.
I don't know if it's working. There we go. There's my hand.
Yeah.
I'm just sending a message to Jordy.
I'm
Help.
Nebula. I'm mysterious.
It is very far lagged for me.
Well, hopefully we'll get Jordy Rose on that in a moment.
I have scripts that I refuse to tell.
We have half control of each other.
Yeah. Okay, so Nebula, going to this room is just more of the same. More of these unkept, messy bedposts and different sleeping arrangements just tattered through all of this room. Again, this is probably when like that second group of kobolds that came after you after some time allotted, you could probably surmise that this is probably where they had come from.
Okay.
For a second there, I was Nebula. I was gonna be like, why am I so sus?
I was Margot for a second. Made me happy.
I'm Nebula. Trust no one, not even yourself.
Especially not yourself.
Like that meme where it's yourself with a gun to the back of your own head.
Yeah, exactly. And it's even better because he's a shape changer. Like it all comes full circle.
All right, I think we got those fixed now.
Just
So in coming to that,
Oh, I was just gonna say, if we want to get a hold of Moose because his Discord is down, we should probably go via Twitter. If
Probably
somebody
wise.
real quick.
But going into this area, did you guys want to go anywhere else? You got a little hallway here going off to Nebula's left.
I kind of want to take a sneaky peek in that left corridor.
Okay.
Cheeky little.
Let me sneak a peek. Oh, potato.
Don't scare me like that.
I wasn't looking at the screen and I was like, what? What is it?
It's another room.
So within this cavern, you can see 7 wooden training dummies stand against the walls. all of them nicked and splintered with heavy sand that's kind of strewn across this rocky floor.
Interesting.
So kind of like a training camp sort of area.
Alrighty. I'll enter said room and just do a little casual scan, see if I can spot anything out of the ordinary, leftover equipment, knickknacks, anything left in a hurry.
Knick-knack, paddywhacks. Yeah, do a investigation.
Investigation with my 2 intelligence. That's an 18.
18. So yeah, looking around this room here, you see you can just kind of make out a bunch of discarded weapons that are kind of laying against the various walls and 10 training dummies. But they look like training swords and shields. They're not exactly metal or anything that could do a ton of damage. But there is one that you do see lined up against with the others. That's a sword that's in really, really good shape. It's got this really nice golden filigree handle with 2 ports that kind of come out to the side with what looks like kind of like vine etchings into the wrap around the handle that go against the guard and kind of slide up against the blade. Yeah.
Whereabouts is that in the room?
Right there.
Right there. All right. I'm going to go up to it. And are you serious? Oh my God.
Someone's doing donuts.
Can you not?
Oh no.
Let me just make as much noise outside the window as I possibly can.
Sometimes you just got to do donuts, right in there.
It is what it is.
Okay, so
I'd like to have a look at this little blade. I'll also point it out to Nebula.
Yeah, so picking this up again is really, really made of really fine make. Looking it over, you doesn't seem to have any special properties or anything kind of attached to it at the moment. But looks like a really nice effing sword, big long sword.
Nice.
And I asked Galahad, well, it's here for the taking, if you'd like it.
It does look nice, but I don't really need another sword.
Well, I'm sure we might be able to fetch a good price for it. And he'll open up his bag of holding and grab this sword. And he'll... it doesn't have a sheath?
This one didn't have a sheath with it, just standing there bare.
Okay. So
Nebula, drop it into the bag real careful.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna grab it and maybe he'll reach in and grab a cloth from inside the bag deeper and wrap it around it so that it doesn't damage the bag when it goes in.
Galahad puts the sword into the bag slowly as to avoid any other children that Nebula may have stuffed in there.
I mean, considering it's been over 2 minutes, 20 minutes, those children would probably be very dead. So.
Really, you're just putting them in sheaths.
Honestly, putting a sword into a bag, it's so Corso.
As you put the sword into the bag, you just hear a ah.
I saw your website, Corso. Yeah. I've seen the stuff you get up to.
Suddenly the bag gets dyed red. We're like,
bag,
oh, that's
nothing.
super weird.
But yeah, that is all you see in this room for now.
Cool.
While they're doing that, Jules will just do a quick sweep, a light investigation of this room in order to ensure that we're not leaving anything important behind. It's a 14 plus 5, so 19.
19. Yeah, look around the room. There's nothing, doesn't seem to be anything else in this area. Again, with that second wave of kobolds that came your way, probably whatever kobolds were left over, any kind of weapons or valuables, just probably snatched them all and ran your way.
Margot wants to go all the way to the very bottom of the hallway of like the rows of beds, like just
Yeah.
all the way to the bottom. Like
Jules was just doing a full sweep in a circle around the room really quickly, just to survey.
Yeah, so you want to, sorry, Margo, you want to investigate further down here?
yeah, like further near the end. Yeah.
Sure, make a investigation check.
Oh boy. My first roll of the night. Margo wouldn't see dirt if it was right in front of her. That's a 3.
3. Well, even with a 3, you can clearly see that there are no sort of hidden, passageways or doors or anything. It's definitely like the end of this cavern. It's solid rock. But yeah, nothing really catches your eye. Just seems to be a bunch of smelly, moldy pieces of leather and beds and very unkempt and really gross.
Okay.
But for you, Jules, again, doing a second take around this room, just don't seem to find anything of interest either.
All right. I'll make my way into the room with them then.
Okay.
I have a question, Kevin.
Mhm.
I've noticed that this is purely it's sort of an out of game thing, because on the map, this direction where the kobold got murked after we left him alone with a werewolf, I mean, that was so obviously going to happen. But are there any blood smears from this corridor that leads to the north where that occurred? Indicating that werewolf boy did in fact come through this way?
Make a perception check.
Oh boy. Perception. Oh wow, that's an 18 plus nothing. That's an 18.
Unfortunately, you do not see any blood trails leading to or from this room.
That is curious indeed. I might just have a quick little wander into this adjoining corridor and see what's happening up there. I knew it. I knew it.
So you see 2 set of doors here, one there and one over here.
Good. I'm going to call out to the rest of the party that I think I've found something.
Okay.
And I'm going to look and see if the door is locked.
Hearing that, Jules will make their way over to Galahad to see what he has found.
Margo will also follow.
Also,
Okay.
I know that the model isn't here, but I do still have Stormmouse over my shoulder.
Just knocked out kid, just waving back and forth.
Yeah.
Got a
I got the
ragdoll.
shield in one hand, and I got the kid slung over my other shoulder.
Okay, so opening up these doors, again, not locked. Reveals this. So inside this room, you instantly smell the scent of incense. It's very, very sharp as you enter this very clean and well-organized chamber. A comfortable bed is tucked against one wall, while a small table rests under a mirror against the other. And a wooden armor rack stands empty in the corner.
Okay.
Maybe we should sweep the room, see if there's anything hidden, like that last one.
Which I don't think I was actually there for. Don't worry about it. Search the room in Galahad voice, I say.
May I roll an investigation?
You sure can.
Investigation.
That is a 16 plus 5, so a 21.
16 plus 5, okay.
You have
And
found
then-
God in this Taco Bell today.
And Galahad, were you rolling some too?
Oh, I mean, I can give it a whirl. It's a 15 plus 17. It's 17.
17.
Mhm.
So from going to that first bedroom and seeing or hearing Phelan had found something sort of near and tucked in the bed, you both sort of instinctively just kind of look at each other and just go, Let's go run searching under the bed as well. You're fighting each other out of the way. The little girl is just knocked out on your shoulder as you're oh damn it, and you're trying to get there before Jules can. But you do notice that there is a chest hidden underneath the bedroom, underneath the bed.
Galahad sort of stands up proud, like, I knew there was a chest, and then he just turns with his back to the group and just goes.
Jules will reach under and pull it out. If they can.
Yeah. So you go under there and pull out this chest.
Cool. Is it locked?
You can find out.
Fuck around and find out your feet.
Yeah, I will attempt to open it. Oh.
Boom! It explodes. No. So you go and you try to open it. Just.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you open it, all of a sudden this loud shrieking noise just emanates from the chest. Just like this alarm bell just sounds off from the chest, and it's just going. It's ear-piercingly loud.
See, you said, "Do you just go ahead and open it?" And I went, "Yeah," and then I immediately went, "That's a bad idea." But I had already said I did it, so here we are.
I have to give the prompt. I'm not going to be like,
yeah. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own action.
But it's constantly, it's just this loud noise. It's just going.
I'm gonna close it.
You never opened it.
That's a weird noise.
That's what the alarm sounds like. Weird. Super weird. It sounds like that, but yeah.
Does the chest keep going?
It's just this sound is just constantly on.
Okay.
Even if I try to close the box.
You never opened it. It was locked.
Oh no.
I'm going to run in and like try and see if there is any mechanic that we can like disarm on it.
Jules will simply hold it out to you. Just I don't know what I did.
Make a dex check, because you can try use your see if you can use your thieves tool to find out what's going on with this thing.
Galahad sort of like instinctively covers Stolmouse's ears.
That is an 18.
Margot's literally
18.
just thinking to herself, she's like, oh great. Just when I thought things couldn't possibly get worse.
So after that alarm is just going and going and going, quickly Phelan runs in there with the thieves' tools, kind of looks on the lining of where the chest is closed with the hood, and just sees this little tiny wire that's inlaid where the two meet. Take out these tiny little pliers and just able to find the right wire. Yeah! The alarm is turned off. But on your shoulder, Galahad, you can just feel the little girl just start to just start to
punch her again. Do it.
Nebula is about to if you don't.
The little girl is slowly sort of coming awake. Not awake yet, but you just like you can feel like the body kind of. Oh God.
Yeah, it's called a punch in the face. As course.
Never fails. But as you do that as well, Phelan, after you sort of cut that wire, you feel this slight click happen as well as the chest seemingly becomes unlocked.
Okay. It's all yours now, Jules.
Okay. And Jules will open it.
Puts shield in front of self.
I'm gonna take a step back.
Within this chest, and it's a fairly big chest as well. You open it up and you can see inside 113 gold pieces. 15 silver pieces. 10 copper, as well as a dark steel +1 short sword.
Neato. A dark steel. Ooh.
It's a moody sword.
It's a sword, but it's got a tragic backstory. It's the kind of sword you'd find sitting in the corner of a tavern with a hood up and playing with a knife.
New NPC.
Name Strider.
But yes,
My
that's what you discover in that chest.
Cool. Jules will hold up the money and just be like, we'll split this when we get out of here, and slip it into their bag. And then they hold up the sword and say, does anyone want this? Because if not, I'll gladly take it.
You got it. I think your ears have earned it.
It suits you.
Thank you.
You say the darkness is your ally. All right, I'm done.
I was forged in it.
So, just real quick to double check on that money. How much did you say again? Just to make sure.
So is 113 gold pieces, 15 silver, and 10 copper.
Cool. Got it.
It's dark steel. What's dark steel? It's like steel, but dark.
All right. Nebula will still have his bow up and poke down through the training area, down towards the bottom.
Okay. So coming through the steel floor here.
He'll come up to it, and I can see that it's a steel floor, right?
Oh yeah.
Is that are those barrels next to me?
Those are like discarded, splintered shields, sort of carried over from the training room area.
I'm gonna grab one and just kind of chuck it out onto the steel floor.
You take the shield and king, 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 king. Nothing seems to happen.
It's kind of sus, Kevin.
Nebula
As a
would
DM, you're personally responsible for all suspicious things.
Nebula would reach down and with a foot tap the his feet are still where on the not metal side, and 1 foot he'd reach out and he would tap it.
All right.
Kind of checking for.
See Nebula kind of just
Check the
gently
taps.
reach out the foot, kind of.
I assume the rest of us followed with Nebula after this, correct?
I'm curious about the room to the north because we're missing some tracks of a certain furry kind of frenemy of ours.
He went down into the Underdark.
Yeah, he went into the Underdark.
What Ollie is trying to say right now is his map completionist is screaming at him.
No fog of war allowed. 100% map completion.
But yeah, so Nebula, you put your foot out there, tap it, bunk, bunk, bunk. Nothing happens.
I don't trust that.
You know what, Haley?
Yeah,
the second you said map completionist, I saw another part of the map that I wanted. I was like, damn it.
Okay. But yeah, if Galahad's wanting to go look at something, it's not like Nebula would stop him. And they can be separate for a second if need be.
You first, sir.
Okay. Has anyone come with Nebula?
I actually think Margot's gonna go with Nebula.
Okay.
Jules will stick with Galahad then.
Okay.
I'll head with Nebula.
You have Nebula too, okay. So we'll kind of transition from Nebula kind of tapping the foot on the steel floor with Margot and Phelan kind of coming behind, and then we got Galahad and Jules up on the north side here. So I'll transition just quickly over to Galahad and Jules, going through those doors.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, you go through those doors and you are in fact right back to where Jewel had been when following that blood trail and seeing it kind of stop in the middle of this room into those 4 different tunneled areas off to the side.
As we enter here, Jules will point out to Galahad where they looked and saw there and just go, that's where I followed the blood for... wow, his name just left my head. What's his name again?
Washburn.
Washburn, thank you. Where Washburn went down into seemingly the Underdark, so...
Before they leave, Margot's just going to send a message to her. Basically, she's just going to use her cantrip message and then just kind of like tune in with Jules and just be like, if you need anything, you know where to find me.
Understood.
Okay.
Shall we press forth, Galahad?
Just let me have a look around.
And I want to just go back through this section of the corridor.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just look around.
Look around here again?
Yeah.
Sure. What are you specifically looking for? Just kind of looking around, or something specific, or like something intentionally?
I want to look for... Because we know, because of that bedroom that we came through, we know there's hidden doors and corridors in this place. So I'm going to start looking around for those in this area.
We also know that kobolds seemingly came from that area, so we could...
Oh, did they come from that spot?
I think they did come from that spot, but...
I think there was 3 of them came from that spot. And
Yeah.
6 came
So
from
you
where-
would have something to tip that off.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I don't remember. I fire all of them. I don't remember.
I
Fine.
vaguely remember Kevin pulling 3 kobolds in a line right to here from this area.
Yeah.
I will, however, still let Galahad make that investigation check.
Investigation, which is +2.
One
It's a
for
19.
each dummy thick cheek.
That's it.
19?
19.
Okay, so looking around this room with intently looking for just like secret doors, passageways, anything like that, kind of combing over the cavern walls, sort of using your metal head to kind of bang on the side of everything, and they're just trying to see if there's any false bottoms of any kind or thin walls. Pung, pung. As your metal hand seems to ding, ding, scrape against another type of metal hidden within the rocky wall.
Interesting.
Here.
Right here. Right there in that one part of the map that wasn't clear. Interesting.
Who would have thunk?
Wow, would you look at that?
Is there like a
That was my bad. I should have hidden that better, but whatever.
Would
Is
we
there
be
like
able
a
to move the stream up? It's currently caught on the live stream. We're back at like the training ground area.
It's just situated on that one space.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah, it's back on the room where I set off the alarm by accident, like a fool.
rule number 1 of adventuring: always investigate.
Always check the box before you open it.
For all you know, that could have been a mimic.
Yeah, that would have been bad. That would have been really bad. No, it would have been
Don't
fine.
be
A chompy chest
Don't
boy.
be a mimic. Don't be a
All right,
mimic.
so
Don't be a mimic.
what would you like to do now that your hand is kind of ping ping hidden against that sort of metallic structure?
I'm gonna start looking. Obviously, like the noise will have alerted Jules. I'm just gonna look at Jules and start feeling around for maybe like a button or a lever, something like that.
Yeah, I'll say just with that 19 as well, because it's very high, you're just kind of combing around for any kind of levers or any kind of holding something, and just your metal hand just scrape against this jagged sort of rocky surface, but you're not finding any handles or anything.
Jules, you think you can find a door or something?
I can try. Can I roll an investigation to see if I can figure out how to get this door open?
So it wouldn't be investigation to figure out how to get a door open. Let's go. Just trying to think. Just do a simple intelligence check for me.
All right, I can handle that. That's a 9 plus 3, a 12. Maybe I can't handle it.
Can you?
Just looking at, just sort of helping Galahad look at this wall here, kind of looking for any kind of handles or a sort of knob of any kind, something that can just like wedge this open. And you're kind of looking around. Now that you know like this spot is the spot, you're just not finding any holds of any kind.
We could always attempt to brute force it.
Galahad's gonna do the knock, and punch through.
Dun, 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 dun. Bam, bam.
Smite.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's do it.
All right, so make an attack.
This is an attack or a strength, whatever. I'll just roll the dice and.
Oh, sorry, you're hitting it, or are you pushing against it?
I'm just going see if I can get a hole in it.
Well, if you're hitting it, that's an attack.
Okay. Okay.
So roll
was,
to
19.
hit it. 19, yeah, just and roll some damage. Are you hitting with your sword or on strike or?
I'm not using my sword at the moment because I'm using my other hand to hold the gnome.
Child.
Yeah.
The child.
The child.
What do you have? A child? No.
No.
No. But it's okay because it's max damage, so that'll be 7 bludgeoning damage as I punch the door.
7 bludgeoning. So you just see Galahad kind of wind up with the unconscious girl on the shoulder. You make this big dent into the rocky surface as bits of earth and rock just kind of fall down from where you hit it, revealing this sort of metal door. That's this metal slab that's situated to the wall here. You've made a big indent, almost through, but not quite.
So what you're saying is I should do it again.
That's up to you, friend.
Okay, let's try one more time. Let's bust this baby open. That's how does math work? 16 to hit.
That'll hit.
Alrighty. Come on, baby. It's the exact same damage. 7.
One more time. Ping! A metal door just indents on itself and rips from the cavern wall. And this waft of cool air just comes out.
Good work.
I wonder if the rest of the party hears the boom, boom.
I mean, I would imagine if they literally tore a door from the cavern walls and it's all hallways. Oh, I suppose that's up to DM discretion, considering that's like from Phelan alone.
You've heard there's not much, like, it seems there's not much around here anymore. You would definitely hear just a faint like.
I mean, with everything still going on, that's only like, well, no, that's quite a bit. That's probably like over 100.
Well, the sound is echoing off the cave walls and everything too. So
There's also 2 doors up here that would deafen any sort of sound.
But seeing this tunnel open up to you, this cool dark tunnel kind of twists down into the mountain, and the air kind of grows ever more stagnant as you kind of like poke your head in and kind of put a couple feet inside. You look to the walls and you see glowing fungus beginning to appear that kind of glisten with moisture. That's very similar to the holes that were in the walls that you investigated earlier.
I've seen all I need to see. Let's go join up with the rest of the party.
Can Jules probably assume that this leads down deep?
Yep.
Galahad, let's not let's not go down there unless we have the rest of the party.
Agreed.
I believe that leads a little bit deeper than we may want to go right now.
Absolutely. Let's go meet up with the rest of the party.
All right. Jump cut.
So jump cut back to Nebula, Phelan, and Margot. I'll just give you an extra sort of action economy here just to do something before they arrived if you wanted to, or you're free to wait for them to come as well.
Nebula's still looking at it and just... I guess it... Nebula wants to wait for Galahad to get back with the little girl.
I've been thinking about this the last 3 sessions. This damn metal floor.
As we're waiting, I'd like to at least check around and see, without necessarily walking out on it or anything, if it's trapped. If there's like any mechanisms around the metal parts or anything.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Okay. Come on, baby.
Hey, first badge roll of the night for me. That is an 8.
Unfortunately, you're kind of looking at this. It's very flush metal flooring. It's very well made, sort of inundated into the cavern walls there. It's very hard to kind of see any mechanical hinges or anything that could lead you to any sort of trap being laid there with wiring or anything. It's just like flush against the cavern floor.
Gotcha.
Seems good to me.
And Nebula's going to say, if he says that out loud, Nebula's going to say, it does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yes.
And he's going to withdraw the rope from his bag and just start tying some of it into like a lasso on one end. And he's waiting for Galahad to get back.
Clank, clank, clank.
If you need me to hold anything, I can do that for you as well.
I'll have you hold on to the end of this, but...
Hold on. Can Margot just kind of come up to the very edge real quick and just be like, so she's basically just gonna walk up to the edge right here. She's gonna be like, Nebula, I see something interesting. Come here real quick. And she's gonna motion for him to stand next to her.
Oh God.
I think Nebula would... I, as a player, don't trust you. I don't know if Nebula doesn't trust anybody, but he might step forward. Yeah, whatever. Nebula would, since he's waiting, this will be that free action moment, is while he's waiting for Galahad to round him.
It's a free action to die.
I swore to fucking John. God.
She just pushes him and she's like, enough talk, just do it.
She's gonna push Nebula.
She just wants to she's just gonna basically be like, that's interesting, and put a hand on her back and just shove him forward.
All right, he would definitely fight that.
Do you want to roll contested?
Yeah.
I do.
So contested strength to see if she's able to shove you, or do you want to move out of the way, or are you pushing against her?
If she goes to push me, if I felt that, Nebula would respond appropriately. So his goal, as soon as it's a push, his goal would be to spin and push back.
So we'll have Margot's athletics versus your acrobatics.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh boy.
That is a 14.
16.
Not fast enough. As you get over to the edge of this metal compartment, and Margot just slaps you on the back and is like, get out there. And you go, whoa, and you just tumble forward a few steps. But as you are on this metal plate, you're kind of dung. Wait a moment.
Nothing happens.
Fireball.
Nothing seems to happen.
He'll take the lasso that he's made then, and he's gonna look right at her. He's gonna look at her, and then he's gonna take the lasso and put it over himself and wrap it around his waist, and yell, "Phelan, would you be so kind?" And he's gonna throw the end of the rope towards Phelan.
I'll snatch that up and hold on for
It looks like
dear
you had
life.
nothing to worry about initially.
And Nebula says, I guess we'll see. And he'll crouch down to take a running position, and he's going to just sprint across them.
Okay, sprinting across. You've got the rope in Phelan's hand.
Yep.
Kevin just pulls out like 12 D6s.
You run across, just in the fastest motion you can. You make it to the other side.
Nah, I don't trust it.
The rope's still in hand from Phelan.
Do you? I'll yell over. Do you want to now switch it over, and we can send somebody else over? You can hold on.
And sorry, guys. Just at this point, we'll have Galahad and Jules kind of their way behind you there.
Perfect.
What
Hello.
happened?
We tested
Made it
the
across.
waters.
I don't trust this floor.
I'll
As
call
you
out.
should.
I'll call out to Galahad. Hold the other end of the rope. Phelan,
Yeah.
come across between us, and I'm using my body to anchor my end of the rope.
Oh, that's
Okay.
smart.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll hold on and like grab the wire as the rope as I keep walking across. I'll do that as well. I'll walk in a hurry. I'll walk a little slower though this time, just to kind of see. and test
As
things out.
Galahad walks over towards you, Phelan, the little girl on your shoulder suddenly moves extremely fast, still on your shoulder as you're carrying her. Her arm just smacks against the stony wall as an indent goes and steps into the cavern wall. As that happens, you hear the gears in the metal floor start to steam starts to rise out of different rivets as the two metal plates start to open up. And inside of this big metal compartment is this large, round device, seemingly in 3 layers, with wires connecting in all manners of directions.
Oh.
There's a pulsing red energy coming from the middle of this device with many different shaped rubies and crystals in different colors and variations around the top part of this 3-layered cylinder. Other items and things are kind of strewed to the side of this massive device as well. But it's kind of hard to make out what they are at the moment, as this big, huge, very encompassing device is just in the middle of this floor, indented the ground.
As a knee-jerk reaction to the sudden movement and the hitting of a switch, maybe Galahad's been spending too much time with Nebula, but it's just an immediate.
You want to knock her out again?
I'm gonna give her the old bonk.
Whack-a-mole her right on the
I'm gonna have you roll. First, we're gonna do this in 2 parts. First, you're gonna go to hit. I'm gonna have you roll a strength against her dexterity, see if she's gonna wiggle out of your grip.
Oh, if she's trying to escape the grapple, I'll do an athletics check.
Okay.
All right. What do you got, Kevin?
Got a 7.
Well, I got an 18.
You sure did. Bonk away.
Bonk.
So as her
Go to sleep.
as her head is kind of like at your back and her legs are dangling doing your chest, you kind of just have her by the waist and just boom, just smack her head against the cavern wall and once
Wow,
again.
you wanted to knock her out, but you gave her permanent brain damage.
Just in
Galahad sort of like pauses.
Nice.
Galahad just sort of looks like a deer in headlights with this girl's like head in the wall, and just slowly slings her back over his shoulder.
Jules is just like
nothing happened.
Jules is just looking straight at Galahad like, okay.
So as you see this massive device with all these multicolored wires attached to it, you just hear this sound. You notice some of the multicolored gems around the top of this cylinder. One light goes out.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna.
We need to shut
Run-
this down now.
Yes. I'm gonna see if there's an off button where she pressed on the wall, or if there's another thing to press to like make it not.
Make an investigation check.
Okay. That's not too bad. That's 12 plus 5 for a 17.
17. You look at where that indent in the wall is, just this sort of thing that went indented. You're looking around for another panel. You're smacking all like the wall all around it to see if there's an off button. You're not finding anything.
Point of clarification: is it the indent in the wall where the child pressed, or the indent that the child made?
There are two indents. One's a bit more, clear-cut, square-like. The other one's just where a bunch of rocks used to be.
It's just a
It's like
cartoon
Mount
face.
Rushmore, but inverted.
I'm gonna turn around to everybody else though and yell, "Ideas? Anybody?"
Okay, let's look at the device itself, see if there's anything on the device itself. And Jules will roll an investigation to see if she can make heads or tails of this thing, even though she doesn't have a lot of electronic experience.
Margot's just gonna yell, all I do is fire and electricity unless you want me to potentially explode this
No.
thing. I don't think I'm much help.
Got 3 plus 5, so it's an 8. But I rolled a
This-
3.
All right, so you rolled a 3. Phelan, are you looking at this thing too?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You rolled 10, Galahad?
I haven't. I was
Okay.
gonna say, can I roll? Because Galahad would probably.
You're
wrap-
all welcome to roll investigation checks just to look at this thing and try to get a gauge on what it is or how it operates.
That's a natural 20, baby.
Oh shit!
That's what we did!
Margot's like those old grandmas that don't understand how mice work. She only got a
So funny enough, you needed a 19 or a 20 to sort of figure out how this thing operates. So for the rest of you, this is a design that you have no fucking clue how it looks or works or acts. This is a strange device with strange metallurgy around it, like a bomb that's like this sort of cylinder with 3 discs kind of also circular, layering this with this huge energy source. It's hard to determine, but Phelan runs in there and has a history with diffusing bombs and trying to be that guy that goes in these rooms to disable traps and everything. So you're looking at this Phelan. It looks really strange. I think there's an image of it on the Twitch stream right now, from the top down. So you're looking at this circular image, and there's all these weird crystals inside. These wires are all protruding out the outside of it, but they just disappear into the core. The energy is strange. Usually bombs are made in a very different fashion from this, but you're trying to think to yourself, okay, what are bombs? What are bombs made of? There's
bombs.
what do most bombs have within them? Wires, gears, power source of some kind, latches. So here's how we're gonna do this. Are you looking to try to dismantle the bomb?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to roll 5 6-sided dice.
Okay.
I am then going to tell you what the numbers of each dice was, each representing a wire to cut, a gear to switch over, a latch to unhinge, and any kind of other mechanisms that you can see that might need to be replaced or moved over in this sort of labyrinth of a bomb device.
I'm scared.
And then with these numbers, for each layer that is in this bomb, as there are 3 discs that you can see, 1 layer here, a middle disc there, and a disc on the end. You are going to have to properly arrange these numbers in a certain sequence to unlock a layer to disconnect each part. You can have help from your party if you like. During each check, add this sequence, we're going to have you roll a check with your thieves tools, which will determine me giving you a hint as to how they should be properly arranged. And that hint will be like, as your roll is higher, I'll give you a really good hint. If it's really low, I will give you a very low hint.
Fair.
Okay?
Yeah.
As Phelan kind of rushes in trying to figure out what to do, here are your numbers.
I will definitely take all the support I can get from the homies.
We have a 5.
Okay.
A 5. A 4.
Okay.
A 2. And a 1.
Okay. 5, 5, 4, 2, 1.
And is
Now-
that just this layer?
That is just this layer. We will do another roll for the middle and another roll for the last layer.
Okay. Fair.
So,
I'm in danger.
I'm
scared, Jules.
as you're looking at this top layer, trying to figure out what things to cut first, what plates to shift, what latches to put up, I'm going to have you roll
Inspiration.
tool check. Do you want to give him inspiration?
No, the
He's
chat
got
just
it.
did.
Oh, there you go. Chat's giving inspo. So,
You're the best.
we'll have you make your first check, Moose.
All right. So that is that's going to be a straight D20 plus my dex plus my proficiency, I believe.
That's correct.
So here we go. Okay. That is a 6 plus 4 plus 2. So that's 6 plus 6. That is a 12. I'm gonna go ahead and you know what? I'm gonna save it. I feel like there's gonna be a shitty roll soon.
Okay.
Shitty roll.
So with
Yes.
that 12, you may ask what rolled number belongs in the first position only.
Okay. Cool. And which number is that?
Let's see. 2. The first one will be a 2.
So 2 comes first. Okay.
Oh no, sorry. My mistake. 1.
Okay, the 1 goes first.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now I am supposed to figure out the other 4, correct?
Correct.
Which goes where? Okay. Friends, I'm going to. Oh shit. All right. I'll turn around to the party. Is this something that I can tell the rest of the party number wise, or is this just the rolls for us per se? So like it's
This
not
is-
like a code or anything. I
So
can,
this
like,
is
jump
this
in
is just you determining, like, with your highest
Okay.
expertise of like what wire to
Okay.
cut first and what sort of
Okay.
thing to try to disconnect this first layer. You're
Okay.
welcome
Well.
to ask one party member for help for
Okay.
them to do the same type of role.
And what is that roll?
For him, it was thieves' tools. For anyone else, it would be an arcana.
I'll go ahead and get the most level-minded person on the party. So, Jules, I think your expertise might be of use.
All right, tell me what you need me to do.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out the correct wires here, and if maybe you can ascertain which one I need to cut next. I know this one is where I need to start, but I don't know where I go from here yet.
And there are also these sort of what seem to be magical ruins just kind of pulsating on the top of the layer as well.
Okay.
Kevin, these are magical runes that are on a mechanical device, correct?
That you can sort of make out at this point. That's what they seem to you at first.
Do I recognize any of them?
Make an Arcana check.
It's a natural 20.
Nat 20.
Robot boy.
They look familiar to you.
Alrighty. Would I be able to read what they mean?
There's no runes on them or any lettering of any kind. They're just various stones and shapes. But Jules, did you say you rolled your Arcana?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. 12 plus 5, so 17.
17. Moose, you can ask about 2 more positions of the numbers.
Okay. I'd like to get the second and the last.
So second and the last would be 1, 5, and the last one 4.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, 5. It is 1, 5, 5.
Okay. So we have the 2 and the 4 as our middle 2, but we don't know which one goes where. Okay.
Galahad is canonically feigning to nail bite right now.
So right now,
I'm kind of confused about what's going on. Can you re-explain the rules a little bit? They're trying to play along, but they don't understand.
Okay, so how this check is working is I roll 5d6, each pertaining to like a gear being moved, a wire being cut, sort of trying to figure out what order how to dismantle this bomb in. I then ask Moose to give me a check to give him a clue as to what position these numbers should be in, because they have to be aligned in a specific order for the unlock to happen. So he rolled a check first, and he got to know what the number position was, which was 1. Then we had Jules help him out and got a really high roll, so he's allowed to ask about 2 more positions in that number that I rolled, in those numbers that I rolled. So right now he knows 1 is the first, 5 is the second, and 5 is the last. And these numbers can be situated in any kind of way. The numbers themselves are not like physically putting them, into the bomb. The numbering is just a tool to figure out like how many numbers will be in this order. You could have all of them put use all 5, or maybe you use 3 of them and then you put 2 away, or maybe you only use 1, or maybe you don't use any of them.
So there could be less than 5, so it could very well just be 15. Okay. Shit. Should have gone with second and third, I guess. Shit. All right. Well, this is where it's gonna go. Do I need to give you the full answer, or can I go and like in the order that I'm giving the answer in? So like
you can do the order if you like.
Okay. So I'll start off with the ones that I know for sure. So 1 and 5. And
So as you use 1 and 5 for your sort of checks, you go to clip a wire.
Yes.
Still humming.
Okay.
That one crystal that went out is still out. Nothing's changed. You go over to shift over, sort of turn the disc over to try to see if you can unscrew it after you've cut that wire. You go to move it. Again, no crystals come out. Thing is still humming.
Okay. So there is indeed at least one more number. Shit. I'm gonna go ahead and try and use all 5 of them. And
which number would be the next in that sequence?
So after that, I'm going to go ahead and pick 2.
You're going to pick 2.
Yes. My quick question as Nebula, how big is this device in its entirety?
It's probably like this big.
So
Like it's not like something you can pick up in your hand. Like it's fairly large.
Would you say it's more than 2 feet wide?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not going in the bag, Corso.
I was gonna try and use my mage hand, but I realized if this motherfucker goes off, we're wiped. Anyways.
So you go. So the section of the numbers you're putting in 1, 5. Go to put 2. So you go to move it over, and you see that it's kind of caught on a wire. You go to clip it. Another crystal vanishes.
Okay.
And the humming goes.
Wrong wire. Okay. We're alive still. All right. So 2 is not the way to go. I'm gonna go ahead and pick 4 next.
You go to pick 4. You kind of caught on that wire. You clip it. Shit. You like maybe it's turning. It was bad. You go to turn it back. Another crystal vanishes.
It was just okay. As soon as I see that, I'm gonna go ahead for that last 5. I guess
go
it was
for that last 5. 1, 5, 5. You turn the disc all the other way instead of the way you were going, and you're able to take off the first layer. The last number was the combination for that was 155.
God damn it! Overcomplicated that for myself. Fuck.
So remember, it's like you're punching into a keypad. You might not need all 5, but maybe you will.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. So
as you've gone to that second layer, we're gonna roll numbers one more time, or for the second time. We've got 6.
Okay.
3. 3.
Coolio.
6. And
Great.
1.
I hate this so much.
So as that humming's kind of got up a little bit, again, you can ask a friend to do a check with you.
Okay.
Margot.
I am going.
Margot, knowing she is old and full of weird knowledge, she goes. She is full of magic herself, so she goes. If Arcana's what you need, then Arcana's what I have.
Yes. Let me see what I need to be doing, and I'll jump in just a second. Just so that way, like I can complete my role. But yes, I'd appreciate your help. So I'm gonna start looking around for which wires I need to cut and what I need to rearrange, and then letting Margot know where I need help in.
Okay, so you will make your first check here to determine what sequence you want to go in next for the second layer.
Cool.
So you can roll with your Thieves tool again.
Here we go. Come on, don't fuck me over. Okay. This was an 11 plus my 6 for a 17.
A 17?
Yes.
You can ask about 3 positions.
3 positions. I'm gonna go in ascending order this time and just do first, second, and third.
First, second, and third. Okay, so the first, second, and third positions will be starting with 6,
Okay.
then 6,
Okay.
and then 3.
Okay. Perfect. Cool. Cool.
Now you can ask a
now
friend
that
to
I've-
do another check if you like, or keep going.
Yes. Now that I've figured out the lay of the second layer, the layout and everything, I'm going to turn around to Margot. I think I've gotten the first half of this. Can you let me know if there's any runes I need to keep an eye out for?
Let me see. That's an unnatural 20. That's a 17.
Oh my God.
Arcana.
Unnatural 20. You can ask about
Unnatural.
unnatural. You can ask about 3 positions. Oh no, sorry, 4 positions.
Oh shit.
Ask about the last 2 are
Yeah, last 2.
3 and 1.
Okay, so it's using all 5 of them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get that order started.
It pays being an ancient dragon.
So as you go down to the second layer,
God,
you know,
warning, guys.
you know
Warning.
you know exactly like how sensitive this bomb is now that you've kind of moved it around and cut some wires, and you saw those things go out. Like, I can't mess this up. And you look at this structure, and this pulsating red glow is inside of you, beating faster and faster. You look around, spinning it around. You see one small wire kind of coming from the middle, going down to the bottom. But then you see another one to the left as well, both intersecting into the bottom, and you just have an instinct. You cut both. The beat's still the same. No new crystals have disappeared.
Okay.
You lift the top and take off the second layer.
I could never be an actual bomb diffuser.
And they're now at the bottom layer.
Okay. Thank you, Margot. Galahad, it's like you're kind of aware of what these sigils are. Would you mind helping with this last layer?
All right, I'll do what I can.
Moose, your new numbers are 6,
Okay.
4,
Okay.
2,
Okay.
6,
I
and
hate
4.
it. Okay. Very even, but okay. All right, gotcha. I'm gonna start taking the look around again and seeing what I can manage, what wires I gotta work with for this last one.
Okay.
So, Kevin, you said that I recognized the runes that are on this device. Is there a pattern or something that sort of hints at what the combination of the sequence might be?
Nothing to that effect, but you notice as you get closer towards this device, the stone in your head starts to pulsate.
Ow. Galahad is also a bomb? Fuck.
Is this a living?
Always have been.
It's thebomb.com.
Oh god. Okay. I went ahead and rolled. I rolled a 9. I am going to go ahead and use that inspiration chat game though.
That's a good time to use it.
Thank you, sir.
That's a 2, and then plus my 6 for dex and proficiency will make it another 17.
Yes.
Another 17. So yeah, you can ask about 3 positions.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead with first, second, and third.
First, second, and third. You're looking down at this bottom layer, those wires kind of protruding from it from all sides. You're just like, you look at your friends, you realize that this could be it, as the pulsing still staying at that peppered beat, but you think at this point, if you make one mistake, this thing might go off.
Oh.
And you look at the multicolored wires protruding out of this. Some are red, some are yellow, some are blue. And there's this black sort of latch on one side of this disc. And you kind of just look up, pray to Speck that he's looking down on you.
My boy.
You take your hand on the latch from the right-hand side. You grab the remaining wires from the right-hand side. And you pull out all the wires and lift the latch at the same time. And the pulsing stops. The combination for the last one was only odd numbers. So you did not need to put in any numbers.
What in there?
Wow.
What in tarnation?
And with that, the glowing goes. And it's there, everybody. We're going to take our break. So I think that's a good place to take it for now. So thank you guys all for sticking in the chat and cheering on our heroes here. We're going to take a little 10-minute break to refill the glasses and stretch the legs and let them breathe for a moment. But we will be right back shortly. Don't go anywhere, guys. See you in just a couple minutes here.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's the break time dance. It's the break time dance. It's the dance that we do. All right, we are back. Thank you, everyone, for helping us get through that together. We got some drinks going. We're calming down. We are de-stressed. Everything is good.
Stress
It's all
ate.
good.
I don't
You
know what
did
you're
it.
talking about.
No worries at all, gang.
I am failing all of a sudden, though.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm failing for you.
But once again, we do not have a subscriber giveaway this week, but tune in to our stream. We got Beyond the Realms coming up this Monday, as we do every Monday, for details on what our next giveaway, when the new giveaway system will start to be enacted, that you will be able to be entered to play in a one-shot with good old Dicecream. So you have that to look forward to coming up soon. But I will not delay you all any further. So let's go back into this very now, not traumatic. The trauma's over, but let's dive back into the story here for episode 10 of the
I think I'm going to need to use my inspiration point to roll for this PTSD.
So, coming back into the room here, having successfully disarmed that very insane-looking metallic device, the walls on this metal compartment are still up, and those items are still strewn about close to the device. And the girl is still knocked out in Galahad's shoulder.
She's just
After you
resting.
caved her head into a rock.
She's just resting.
Caves. I see what you did there. Nice.
What would you like to do? As Phelan is currently the only one in the middle of this structure.
So the bomb is deactivated from what we can see, correct?
The red core is no longer humming. There's no ticking. Seems to like he did the job.
I'm curious as
think
to what kind of power source would be used to make this thing go off.
Can we even be sure it is entirely off?
As far as I can tell, yes. Or at least for right now. I've cut some pretty good wires here, and to repair them, it'll at least take a while, I would assume. So we're fine for right now, but I would say we should probably take something from it that is irreplaceable in case, our werewolf friend comes back in and tries to redeem it, or I guess anybody else coming in from the Underdark.
Because right now the bomb is in 3 layers. You've got the top layer disc over here with the crystals and crystals sort of inundated in the top, and the second layer over there, and the third layer on the bottom.
How big are these layers?
They're like around this size, like
a shield,
like a medium-sized shield.
Okay. And in the middle layer, can I see like the red power source that you mentioned? Or like the lowest layer.
Once you disconnected the wires, the red glow just went and just sort of dissipated.
Okay.
So in that sort of middle cylinder hollow part, there's no longer a red energy source glow.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay. That's terrifying. Do we just take one of those pots with us then, Jules? Is that what you're trying to say?
If that's needed for the overall mechanism, then if we take it away, someone would have to build a new one in order to activate it again, correct?
Yes.
And perhaps we should take them.
Okay.
It would also be something to bring back to our higher-ups.
Even more irrefutable proof.
So my bag of holding has a 2-foot diameter mouth, which I guess if we want to get real mathy about it, would be a wider diagonal mouth. But regardless, now that it's separated, would these pieces fit in there?
2 feet is around, what, this big?
That's, I believe, a foot. A little. I don't know.
There.
5 inches.
These things just kind of like,
Hold on.
it's like getting
2
it
feet?
to the way it is, just this sort of the way that the...
Haley, why do you have that within arm's reach?
Look, don't ask questions you're not prepared to hear the answer to.
Why does Yappy have one within arm's reach?
Because I'm
Just get your handy dandy tape measure and everyone keeps it aside all day.
Okay, so
Everybody
based
got-
on what you see, would 2 feet diameter mouth, is that big enough? It's okay if you tell me no. Obviously.
You like with some careful like trying to put it in there and stitching it around, you could probably get 1 layer maybe in there.
Okay.
Perfect. That's all
Are
we
the
need.
okay, great. Are the layers bigger as they go down?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and take the smallest layer, and I'll try and shove it into Nebula's bag as gently as I can.
Okay.
Is
You
the
take that
power
guy.
source of the device still connected to it?
It dissipated. So there was this red energy glow that was inside of it, and once he took those wires and lifted that lever, that hatch, it went.
Cool. Okay. Carry on.
As far as I can tell, now we should be good. And yeah, like you said, Jules, it'll be a while until at least they are able to reconstruct this without what we have.
There is also a bit more of an accessible entrance into the Underdark back there, which may cause issues for us if there is more to this layer beneath us.
We want to permanently close it, I guess. Maybe cause a cave-in in that area.
We could. That would solve anyone else from coming up from that area. However, we wouldn't be able to come back and investigate if we were to
I mean,
completely collapse it.
it would just take us a little while to do it. I don't know if we can really make a permanent closure in that area either. I'm sure people can dig their way through if they need to, but at least it'll be a hindrance for them.
I'm okay with doing whatever everyone else wishes to do.
And around you as well, Phelan, now that you're your focus is able to kind of breathe for a minute, having focused on this device, and you're in this kind of indented floor that kind of sinks down a couple feet. You do notice that there are some items situated around this device in this compartment as well.
Oh,
Hey.
what items?
So you look around you. There are a pair of rings
Okay.
on the floor. They're kind of again, sort of that dark metal that has like this slight light blue tint and sparkle to them. And they look like sort of two arrows pointing in opposite directions, linking the band. There's a band and then two arrows kind of pointing opposite each other.
May I make an Arcana check on those?
Sure. What are you hoping to determine?
Just determine if there's any magical energy emanating off of them, and if so, what it may be, or its function. That is a 9 plus 5, so a 14.
14. Looking at these rings, that shine it's given off, it's definitely got some magical property to it.
Very nice.
Also, Phelan, just looking around because these things are kind of strewed like fairly close to you. There's two sets of rings kind of off to one side, a couple pouches cinched up off to another side, and a red leather book that looks similar to the one that you found with the journal.
Ooh. Okay. What's in the pouches? I'll open those up first.
So you open up those pouches, and each pouch contains 100 gold each.
Oh baby! Oh baby! And while I'm like taking that out, like I'm assuming like to get a general count, I'll pass like the book to anybody who's wanting to like check it out.
Gimme.
Okay. I'll give it over to Jules.
So Jules, you have the red leather book.
Mm-hmm.
Open it up.
Yeah.
You open it up, and there seems to be a configuration of a bunch of different sort of runes and lettering that were found in their journal, and in a jointed proper alphabet laid down next to it.
So it's like a cipher, I guess. I'm gonna hold on to that. Actually, I'm gonna compare it to the runes that were on the top of the thingy that we first originally saw.
Oh. Is this if you're trying to unearth things, I'll pull out the other journal that we did find and I pocketed earlier, that we weren't able to discern the words of because it wasn't a cipher. And I'll hand that over to Jules as well.
Well, it looks like, do they match up?
Yeah, so you kind of look at the symbols that are in that book next to the one on the device, and they don't seem to match up at all. But you open up the journal next to it, and as you open both books, almost seemingly like the ruins from the lettering in that ciphered language from the journal next to this cipher, you just see the letters start to lift off the page and start to mixture in with one another, almost like floating letter and runes are just exchanging places from book to book. And the journal that you now read starts to become
magical. Fuck.
Well, now I'll be able to read this significantly more easy. I'll just scan really quickly to see what I can pick up from
the journal.
The new journal that I can now read.
Are you just picking a random page? Just kind of opening up. I will have you roll a D4, please.
A D4. That is a 4.
Nice.
All right, going right to the end. So you kind of open up the journal, and you start kind of you can just open up a random space. And you're kind of opening it up kind of in the latter half of the book. And there's a lot of blank pages in that last sort of quarter, that last sort of fourth of it. You're like, oh, here, kind of, or to go front, backwards, forwards. And then you finally get to a page where the entries start showing up.
Okay.
And you're like, oh, okay, there is lettering, there is wording here. And you kind of just go back until you can find kind of like whatever the last sort of sibilance of whatever entries were in this book from this last part.
Okay.
And what you read describes sort of various dates and descriptions of a signature at the top that says Huron Stallmoust. And what this entry describes to you is him visiting an excavation. He describes a crash site.
Oh no.
With a vehicle that looked similar to an Illithid ship that made this huge impact tunnel that buried deep into the earth where they found it. And he describes finding a few burnt bodies that were just burned beyond recognition. But that one body was seemingly unscathed. And what he can only describe as a type of warforged body that he had never seen before. Vastly different than anything that the Empire has ever seen. It had distinctly human features.
Bitch the fuck.
Almost like the skin on it resembled a human's, but was sort of silver in tone. And that this Warforged also had hair and was wearing very, very strange clothing.
Huh.
You're welcome to keep reading entries if you like.
Yeah. I'll read the next entry.
Okay. So this next entry
Jules's interest has been gotten.
describes him sort of inspecting this body and trying to see what this thing is made of, how it can come into being. And inside of its core seemed to be a beating blue crystal. And in his hand was an aged, rusty metal clock face with pieces missing in the center. And the piece that was missing seemed to be similar to the size of the Warforged crystal. He describes other men trying to remove it, but any attempt to try to remove the crystal seemingly shocked some of them to death. And any other attempts seemed to be kind of futile, but with Stallmouse being who he is and with his expertise, he was able to use very specific tools and his skills alone from his years of surgery. He was able to remove this crystal. And he states that he was getting ready to safely store it for delivery for the Empire, but his curiosity was too great. And seeing that space in that metal face of that clock face, he placed the crystal into the clock face. And as he did, a portal emerged. A window into another plane of existence, but it made no sense. It was nothing he'd ever seen before. It was a city full of mechanized people, Motrons of various sizes and shapes. He describes seeing metallic animals, strange vehicles. It's nothing like he'd ever seen before. And suddenly he describes feeling cold at the vision of the window as it flew forward at incredible speed, like someone pressed a magnify button at like 1,000 times. Just his whole vision just went past all these people, past all these buildings, past all these strange structures. And the vision zoomed in past the bronze city into a tower, smashing through a plain glass window into a room with a metallic man, hidden with a green cloak, holding mysterious orb in his hand, and describing his head rising and saying, "It looks like we have a visitor. Keep digging, friend. The best is yet to come." And with that, the portal shut, blasting everyone off their feet, various feet away, smashing into trees, some of them like breaking their legs and their arm from the sheer force of it. And that's where that chapter ends.
What did they make?
It's interesting.
I am stress eating.
You're
were
welcome
the best
to
number.
I need to
continue
remember-
forward or go to the beginning of the journal or somewhere in the middle.
I think that roughly how long did this take Jules to read, just so I can get a...
You're kind of just sifting through it, and it's like taking you about like a minute or two just to kind of go through these descriptions.
How many entries does it could they estimate is in there?
I mean, this is I don't have a reference here, but it's like a fairly, it's not a thick book. You're not reading the Bible, but it's just like a small journal. Hard to estimate how many pages necessarily. You know, like at a glance, maybe like 150.
I actually know how to figure this out. Ollie, how long is your backstory? Let us know. Galahad. That's it. We got it.
About 2.5 sentences, my guy.
Well, Jules is going to kind of glance to Galahad and back to the book, and then put it into their bag and say, "I think I'm going to have to look more in depth into this later, but we should get moving."
It's gonna be hard getting down the mountain with a friend, but I guess we've already done this before. It's okay. We've kidnapped people down here.
We've had a bit of practice.
Yeah. Well, back to town, I guess. Well, oh no. Do we want to stop those cave in those tunnels?
Well,
Maybe a couple shots from our dragon friend, a couple blasts from you, Jules. Pew, pew. And we
I think that could possibly take care of it. Yeah.
pew, pew.
Margot, shall we?
For once, yes.
Hey,
All right.
let the pyro go. Let him loose.
Jules will make their way back up to the entrance to the Underdark.
Okay. Back to where the wall that you
Yeah.
had made a hole in. Okay. You just want to kind of blast the ceiling of it, try to make some rocks fall down.
Yeah.
All right, both of you make attack rolls.
Cool. Anyways, I started blasting.
I'm gonna use my favorite D20 that I got for free.
Let's go.
God. That is math. I got a 12.
So you said just attack roll, okay, so let's see here. I'm just gonna cast a firebolt. That's 15.
Yep, both hit as you're just aiming for like the ceiling part of this empty hole in the wall here.
Cool. Do you want us to roll damage as well?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
You reached the wall. Kill your friend. Fuck.
8 damage. Force damage specifically, since it's a blast.
7 fire damage.
7. So yeah, you two just kind of take your marks in front of the wall, hitting both the ceiling, and some of the rocks kind of just start falling down from the ceiling. Some rubble hit It's not enough to completely cover the entire hole in the wall. Like some rocks kind of came down from the ceiling. But after hitting that, you figure you might need a bit more oomph to cause this entire hole to be caved in.
Shall we try again?
At this point, Margot again is just gonna clap her hands together, stick her hands out. She just goes, I do have burning hands left.
Let's not expend more energy than necessary. We still have quite a long ways back to town. I'd hate for us to get caught somewhere that we'd need that and have used it to simply cave in a tunnel.
Hopefully we can just continue to chip away then and get this job done soon. Alright, so rolling to attack again. Oh, are you kidding? I'm taking a picture of that. That's a 20.
Hey, not 20.
I got a 17
Cat.
plus 5.
Cat.
My dice off my chain. She
Cat
saw the
said
roll and she's
no.
like, fuck, you're 20. I was gonna take
No.
a picture of that.
Get your success away from me.
I got a 22.
All right. So yeah, for that extra oomph, burning hands, you kind of put them on the side of the rock wall and just start burning into the side as it gives way to more rocks just falling down. After a few hits in the side, you just start to pile up rubble everywhere, and it starts to fill up the hole in the wall.
All right, looks like a job well done. Let's go rejoin the others. We shall make our way back to the rest of the group.
Okay, can I actually say I'm legitimately salty that my cat knocked over my D20?
I would be too. First
She
it's
saw it.
dishes, then it's dice.
She saw it, and I was just like, don't fucking do it. And then she just went, pop, and then jumped off my lap.
Betrayal.
Classic cat.
I was just trying to make her comfortable. I was like, yeah, you can sit on my lap. You can play along.
So, Nebula's gonna ask the party, how much of this place do we care to leave intact?
I know we've taken some explosives, but there's still a lot of stuff here, and I don't know if we've taken enough from this bomb to not make it work, but I don't know if we mean, make this place go boom, because this might still level town. I would say wait for the rest of the guard to come back and check it out now that we've cleared everything.
Let someone else risk exploding themselves to get rid of this if our bosses would like this to be destroyed.
Yes.
Pupper Duke has
No.
plenty of bombs.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. Well,
I just want to look at one last thing before we go.
All right, then.
And Nebula would walk up this way, just remembering the doors that the kobolds were at when they snuck over here, and would want to come take a peek at that door.
Jules will follow behind you.
In there.
Mhm.
So yeah, once again, kind of opening the door as they are not locked either.
More
Last
doors.
room here. You see, so beyond those rickety wooden doors is a rough-walled cavern that serves as a kitchen. A cutting block to the north is stained with old blood, while low-burning fire to the south heats a cauldron hanging by chains. A thick, foul-smelling soup is kind of simmering within the cauldron.
Well, it looks like there's not much else to be discovered here. And he says that back to Jules.
Seems so. Job well done, then. As long as we can make it back to town alive.
And also, Jules, just so I know, did you divulge any of that information from the book to the
Mm-mm.
party, or did
No.
you leave it to? Okay.
Not yet, no.
Okay.
They're gonna figure out exactly what that book is before they decide to share that, because it may upset some party members. So
What? Really?
No.
And so Nebula would give the signal to leave the mountain.
Okay.
Let's do
we
it.
on our merry way.
So
We all link hands and skip out the cavern.
as you
We're off to see
leave,
the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
as you leave the stall mouse lair behind, having successfully bested whatever it was that was fucking in this place,
A nuke.
cleared it all out, normal nuke, yeah, and you leave the cavern, going down just for brevity, back down the mountainside there with the little girl on your shoulder, Galahad. And now it's fairly dark outside. You've kind of spent a lot of time in here, so it's getting down into nighttime. And as you're making your way down sort of that waterfall side, back out from the Superkill Ridge into the forest area, you're walking for a bit, trying to get back to the city as quick as possible. I'm going to have all of you roll a perception check real quick.
Ooh, that is a 6.
19
Not even.
plus 0.
That is a 5.
That is a 7.
Oh Lord, for once I'm actually perceptive. That's
7 plus 2 for 9.
So we got a 9, a 7, a 6.
I'm a 16.
19.
Thank God, Margot.
19.
Oh my God. I mean,
This party has no wisdom.
So with
Occasionally
everyone
we
kind of
do that.
walking through, with everyone walking through the forest as nighttime has kind of started to descend upon you, the rest of you don't make this out, but Galahad and Margot, as your party is kind of making it through the woods here, you just kind of look over to the left and you can see just a slight glimmer in the shadows of the trees, where the moonlight is just kind of beaming down. You just see the slight glint of metal.
Divine sense. Divine
Put on
sense
your
and
divine
perception check.
Put on your Define Sense, looking for Fey, Undead, Fiend, or Celestial.
Correct.
None of those ping.
Margot's gonna look over at Galahad, holding onto Stalmouse, to just be like. Then she's gonna hold like her hand out for everybody behind her, just be like, stop, and then point out.
We're being watched.
okay.
Hmm.
What do we want to do about it? Do we want to keep walking, or do we want to, I guess, confront them before they confront us?
Better to ambush them before they ambush us.
That's fair.
Frankly,
Okay.
I'm sick and tired of people coming at me.
That's fair.
Then should we attack? Or should we alert
see.
them that we know of their presence?
Is there any way, like, since we're in the forest and we have a rogue, is there any way that I could be like, Phelan, can you go see what's going on with that?
I can try, but if they have an eye on us, it'll be hard for me to sneak up on them. But I can absolutely try, yes.
One quick
Oh.
thing. I'll lean over to Phelan, give him a light tap on the shoulder. Lone hands, 5 hit points.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey, I'm back at double digit. I'm at 10 now.
Alright.
So, okay, then, friends, if we keep walking, I will just split off from the group, and I will try to meld with the trees as I try and hide in between them and sneak up on whatever is watching us.
While we've been talking, has that metallic glint moved at all?
You look over. It's not there anymore.
Oh, God.
Was
Oh,
nobody
what the-
keeping an eye on it?
Down that bitch. Oh, my God.
Hold on. Okay, since I perceived it before, can I try and see if I can't spot it again?
Roll perception check.
Galahad, you too.
Ah!
Yeah, Galahad got that nat 1. I don't think you got help there. Oh, okay, better. My bad.
That's a 3.
That's a 5.
Okay. Welcome.
Through the
Join
shadows. You
Yeah.
can't seem to discern where this, whatever it is, went. But as you
Yeah.
guys are kind of like whispering to yourselves and trying to think what you want to do, you look ahead and this figure is now there in the road ahead of you. Standing there glinted by the moonlight, covered head with a dark robe that comes down from shoulder to ankle. With
it-
parts of this armor kind of glinting in the moonlight.
Does it seem to match the description written in that book?
This does not.
Okay, good. All right.
As the figure is standing there, starts
are
to
you?
speak.
Margot, like, ready as a firebolt, like, standing in front of the group, especially in front of Phelan.
Jules already an Eldritch Blast as well.
Just
So you're
yelling
ready,
just at the
as
figure,
you
who
kind of
are you?
ready all of your attacks. Who are you? This figure stands there, draws out this black, long scimitar that glows in the moonlight, and whispers to you all, I believe you have something that belongs to me.
And what would
And,
that be?
And as this figure raises a head and pulls back the hood, the cloak falls to the ground, and you can see this luscious but fairly battle-worn golden armor set with a drow facing at you, with long white hair, this very intricate styled battle armor with this huge chest piece, pointed out shoulder pieces, forearm armor that comes down to here, this sort of a battle skirt almost with two golden armaments on the side, this red sash that goes around their waist with this black material underneath, these big long sort of knee-high leather boots that come up. And he looks up, points the sword up towards Jules. By the name of the Hendricks estate, I've come to bring you home.
That's the wrong name.
Is it?
Yep. It's the Fowler.
Fowler. Sorry, in the name of the Fowler estate. Wow, way to ruin that moment. But with that, raising up the sword, say, I'm here on the behalf of the estate of the Fowlers. I've come to bring you home. That's where we're going to end the session there.
No!
God
Fuck that up. Super good.
That was,
Shit.
That's
Sorry, guys. But yeah, so that's where we're going to end the session there, everybody, just because it's getting close to the wrap up. But yes, so that concludes episode 10 of the Failai for today. But I did say I was going to save a piece of info news for the end of the stream regarding the Failai story. So I'm not going to try to draw those out and make this a long thing, but I will be stepping down from the DM duties of the Failai. I had a wonderful time with this campaign and story and players. These guys are just so talented and make playing D&D, just a effing joy. But I will not be ditching the story either. We are not ending the campaign or the Phalai at all. I am actually going to be joining as a player and taking over the DM duties is our good friend. You know him, you love him, the co-creator of the channel, Mr. Jordy Rose.
Jordy!
Hi, everybody.
So a lot of you have been watching our streams for, God, when we started this thing almost 2 years ago. Jordy, his story and his talent started the channel. We did our first Curse of Strahd campaign that he DM'd, which is when we started streaming D&D content in the first place, and then transitioned to do a homebrew story that we weren't really sure what was going to happen to it. There was some things going on behind the scenes, and we have decided to end that story. And so Jordy's DM duties have kind of opened up a bit. So he, and I'm so happy to say this, will finally be DMing back on the Dicecream Twitch channel, and he will be DMing the remainder of this story, which I am so fucking excited for him to do that. So
it's gonna be pretty great.
Yeah. So welcome back, my friend.
And you get all.
This isn't an ending, but a new beginning.
Experience of DMing to weave those stories, which is gonna be real fun.
Yeah, so anything that I kind of, me and Jordy are going to have a meeting soon and kind of converse. Anything that I had kind of set up or ready, I'm going to hand it over to him, and he's just going to kind of take that ball and run with it. So very stoked to see what you do, my friend. But yeah, guys, again, very sorry I messed up that ending. There's a reason why I shouldn't be DMing this story. Clearly, I'm an asshole and I suck.
No.
I mean, honestly, so here's the thing.
Bad Kevin.
Honestly, it couldn't be either or because it doesn't matter. I'm still awestruck that somebody's coming for Jules. Because me as Haley, I'm like, you're not fucking touching her.
I personally am just looking forward to having someone back in this space next to me because it's been lonely down here.
But yeah, guys, so you can look forward to that. We may change a stream day of when we do these. It might not be on Wednesdays anymore. It may even be weekly. We were kind of discussing that in our own little meetings here and there. But keep tabs on all the Dicecream socials, obviously, for any changes we might do. Also, you can jump into the Dicecream Discord as well, where we have all the players in there. We share memes, we tell hilarious stories, all that fun stuff. And I also update what we're doing in there as well.
Kev, there was one question from a couple people in the chat going, wait, what? What character is Kevin going to be playing?
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin.
What are you going to be playing, Kevin?
Hold on.
Sick guitar riff played by the
Oh, snap.
through the fire and flames, but I suppose
super
it's through
excited.
the water
I haven't
and
seen
sea
any
at
of your
this point.
backstories, but I've heard like some stuff that Kevin has told me here and there.
So I'm happy to announce that I am going to be once again playing everyone's favorite Triton boy, Les Paul of the Triton race, is coming back, baby. He will be joining the Phalai crew on their next set of adventures, which I am so
all of his
fucking
low-level glory.
Yeah, we're going back a bit, but yeah, this is my only PC character that I've ever got to play, and I feel like his story was not finished, so I'm bringing him into this story. So I'm very, very stoked to continue that moving forward.
It's gonna be sweet.
But
I'm super excited to get hands on backstory, start planning stuff out, see exactly where I decide to take this encounter, because Kevin is hands off.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
You'd be like, and then his skin explodes, and he's a giant ancient white dragon. I'm like, oh shit, that was it. All right.
Hey, don't take my style.
Kevin. I'm not Corso.
That's right.
Level 3 ancient white dragon.
Jordy,
Double
what they
fucking
are.
Just gonna come out and say it.
It scares
But,
the shit out of people. I'll tell you that. It scared me when I heard that. I was like, good
Go
lord.
ahead. Say it,
Paul
Ollie.
is not allowed to level up to 4 with the rest of us. He hasn't earned the right yet.
Yeah.
But you have leveled up to level 4
Yes!
after that.
But wait a
You
minute.
can pick a feat, get your character stat upgrades, whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
you
God.
get to level up after
Corrective.
successfully doing the nuke encounter.
The nuke encounter.
The nuke encounter is what it will be called from now on. But yeah, you are all now at level 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Finally.
And you will not have to wait as long to level up from here on out.
Don't you
Can
tell
I
Kevin
just
say
say-
that.
I will not be taking your word for it.
I mean, I have. That's not up to me, I guess. Never mind. Why would I say such a thing?
Hold on. Can I just say before we officially pass the torch, can I just give a huge shout out to Kevin as our DM for getting us 10 episodes in, giving us a story and history. Like, Kevin, I know we only had you for 10, but like I'll know you as a friend forever. Like, you're an amazing DM, an amazing
Aw.
player, and I'm so excited to have you play with us. And Jordy, I'm so excited to have you as a DM. Like, I'm excited to see where you'll take this. So like, thank you both so dearly for giving us all a story that we absolutely love.
100%.
It's great to
Yeah.
be behind the scenes, but it's going to be back.
So
it's gonna be
excited.
Back on camera.
Yeah.
Now, what
don't
Haley
think-
means by that speech is she's glad to have another meat shield.
Yeah.
And Wes is the definition of meat shield.
And I just
Hey, look, if he
while
ends
it's
up
been
getting
a
murked, then
pleasure-
at least we have fresh sushi.
I just want to say it's been a pleasure
No.
having you as a DM, but I can't wait to hassle you as another player.
Yeah.
That's what he's good for now.
Yeah. No. Well, thank you for those kind words, guys. That means a lot. Yeah, you guys are just been a joy to play with, and I'm so happy that I just like got to pluck you all and just smash you together. I knew that you would all be wonderful to role play with, and your just personalities and everything meshing together. I knew it was a recipe for success. So I'm very stoked to join you all as a player now and just get to be in the shit with you and hopefully not get burned by Margot because Les Paul is a spicy boy.
You gon'
Don't worry, we can be Team Freezer Burn.
You need to
Or do you prefer Team Icy Hot?
Oh, Team Icy Hot.
Oh man, no, that's awesome, guys. So like I said, this is just the beginning. So it's been my pleasure being your DM for sure. You guys have given us and me some like just fucking amazing moments that I'm gonna remember forever. I mean, goddamn, that Galahad clip just lives rent free in my head all the time. Zero system joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, everyone, it's been awesome. But yeah, I will be when we do come back. It won't be again. It's not going to be like a month break. Like it'll may even be not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after again. Or if we choose a different day, again, we'll update everybody on socials when that will be. But yeah, so thank you all so much for supporting Phalai and all the different stories we got going on. I know these guys, whatever goes on from here on out, it's out of my hands, but I know that these guys are just going to fucking send it into the stratosphere, whatever happens. So
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm excited to see where things go, and I'm super stoked to have a chance to get back with 6 players, some experienced people that I can start throwing some shit at and maybe throw you some stuff you haven't seen before.
Oh no.
I'm so happy to have Jordy back as a DM.
Sweet.
All right, guys. Well, I think
Begin.
that'll do it for tonight. But yeah, guys, stay tuned for more info. But love you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and we'll be back very, very soon. Good
Talk to you soon,
night.
Later.
Bye, everybody.